Yo, we are back for Week 7, the Week 7 matchup. We're getting close to the halfway point of the year, starting to see what the teams are actually looking like. What's going to actually happen for the year. We got a lot of trades going on. It seems like every day there's a brand new trade, a lot of free agent pickups, and people are getting ready. It is exciting, Week 7. Again, some out-of-division rivalries we got going on. And the big one that we're going to start off with is Titletown versus Burtucky.
Ooh.
Brother versus brother, coworker versus coworker.
It's one of those games, Dougie, that just gets the hair up on your neck. You know, DJ.
Yeah.
And it's one of those rivalry games outside of the division, which we don't have a lot of those in the GFO, but this is definitely one of them. They've been battling since the beginning of the GFO, some 4 years ago.
Here a lot of times, Mom has a real hard decision, to make during this week. We all know Dad likes DJ more.
No doubt.
Mom has a little bit more of a struggle. So let's get right started with this. Both teams are 3-3. Burtucky was not happy with his ranking that you gave him, but you know what? That's life. Do something better with your team.
Ouch!
I'm just saying that's what you said. That's what you said off air. I'm just repeating it. So.
80 points a game. He should have been fortunate to be where he was.
Well, let's get started. Here we go. Jay Cutler against Cincinnati, and we have Matt Schaub against San Francisco. Who would you rather have here?
I would look to my bench. I don't really love either one, but I don't think the game is going to be decided by the QB in this one. But I think San Francisco has as you mentioned a couple times before throughout the weeks, coming off a bye week to prepare for Schaub. You've really enlightened us this year on the effects that can have on an opposing QB. So I don't like them. Plus, San Fran is stout. Even without a bye week. They've been solid all year.
Well, what I would hold to is, you saw what even a decent Giants offense did against a prepared New Orleans defense. And I think Singletary is going to be ready to go. I guess I would rather have Cutler here, but I don't think Cutler has a great matchup with the injury that Cincinnati just suffered. I think that will help. But I'll go ahead and take Jay Cutler. I don't think either one's going to score a ton of points. Maybe in the mid-teen range. I wouldn't expect anything much more than that.
That'd be a good day for either one.
All right, running backs. We'll go to Titletown. Ronnie Brown, Larry Johnson. Ronnie Brown again. Let's go ahead and hear the weekly hatred.
He blows.
Wildcat
blows. Everything about Ronnie Brown except for the orange uniforms.
I do like the orange.
They blow. The Wildcat's retarded, it's childish, and it's not going to work against Greg Williams and his Saints defense.
All right, well,
Mark it down.
That said, Miami will be a little bit more prepared, and I think he's going to have a pretty decent day. Larry Johnson, he is going up against a team that gives up almost 25 points to running backs, but I don't know that 25 points is going to be given up to Larry Johnson.
No, that rule only applies to running backs, not old, abused, 500 carries a couple years ago or some nonsense. Larry Johnson's not going to get 500 yards against Atherton High.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that Jamal Charles gets 10 fantasy points, and Larry Johnson gets 10 as well. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and give that a whirl. Let's go to the Burtucky side. Brian Westbrook against Washington. You pointed out that Brian Westbrook is pretty much going to be over. Now, granted, he did get 14 points last week, but is his fantasy value shot? He can't be a number one starter anymore, can he?
He is a number 2 on the low scale. He's a low scale too.
Okay.
He's a shell of himself even last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see towards the end of this year to see McCoy getting more touches than Westbrook, and Westbrook falling into that Sean Alexander and Larry Johnson type draft next year.
Okay. Michael Turner against Dallas. Dallas coming off of a bye week. I still think that Turner will have a decent week. I'll say 15. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 20. Turner's a good player. And so I'm actually, when I look at this, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to give it a wash. And here's the reason why for Titletown against Burtucky. I think that Larry Johnson and Brian Westbrook are going to cancel each other out. Ronnie Brown and Michael Turner might cancel each other out. If anything, I think I'm going to give the slight edge to Titletown because of Ronnie Brown.
I would agree with everything you just said there, with the slight outcome going to Burtucky because the Wildcat's stupid.
Okay. Well, your prejudice doesn't mean anything to them, and I think they've proved that. Wide receivers, Titletown, he's got Braylon Edwards, Larry Fitzgerald, and Hakeem Nicks. And Burtucky's got Vincent Jackson, Kevin Walter, and Deshaun Jackson. Okay, Braylon Edwards has a questionable by his name. Didn't do a ton last week. That said, he's got a pretty formidable matchup in Namandi Eshuman.
Yeah. Nasha Magawi is a stud. As we've mentioned every week, whoever is against him,
he's not doing
lower your expectations.
Andre Johnson, 2 catches, 6 points. And I can tell you what, Braylon Edwards is not Andre Johnson.
No, he's Chancey Stuckey. The problem for DJ is he's not happy with Braylon Edwards, as he has been rumored to be shopping Braylon Edwards. He just got him.
Yeah.
So there's some friction there. Players don't play well under that type of friction.
Yeah.
I don't like what Titletown has going on right there.
All right, Larry Fitzgerald, I think, will have an okay week. The Giants' secondary is not looking great.
They're going to make a comeback this week.
You think so?
They have to. They got humiliated last week.
That is factually correct. Hakeem Nicks, and then I think the problem that I have right now with the Giants' wide receivers is you don't really know who's going to get the targets. It's kind of getting more and more spread around as Eli is getting more comfortable and people are getting more healthy. So I think Hakeem Nicks could give you 2, but he could also give you 12. So I don't know which one he's going to get this week.
I'll settle in the middle at 6.
I'm okay with that. Other side of things, Vincent Jackson against Kansas City. Kansas City gives up about 23 points to wide receivers, and Vincent Jackson should have a better day than he had against the Monday Night Football crew against the Broncos. Yeah. Kevin Walter actually gets targeted quite a bit, but once again, San Francisco should be more prepared for this. And Deshaun Jackson on Monday night, I think, was it Monday night that he didn't cross the goal line, or was that a Sunday night game?
Yeah, I believe it was a Monday night where he just threw the ball down at the 5 or whatever instead of crossing the goal line.
Either way, prime time, you got to think with Burtucky's luck, this could happen again.
Oh, there's no doubt.
All right. No doubt. Tight ends, Greg Olsen against Kellen Winslow. I personally like Greg Olsen a little bit better than Kellen Winslow, but I think it could be a wash.
What about the trade, Doug, that DJ gave up an arm and a leg for Kellen Winslow, who's only had 1 good game?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think Roy Williams is really going to do much for DJ. Now, granted, it might be better than what he's got. I'm not really sure. I think in the end, it probably helps out DJ a little bit if he has a quarterback to throw to him. But I just don't know if Josh Johnson's going to be that guy. In the end, I don't know. If we look at the numbers at the end of the year, I think he might get a little bit better edge than what he had, but who knows. Anyway, defenses, Chargers against Kansas City, Bengals against Chicago. I'm going to call that one a wash as well.
Me too.
Who do you like in the matchup? Who are you picking?
Well, this brutally hairy matchup is going to come down to a key play here and a key play there. Neither team is really built for what I would classify as high-powered success. One is average in his scoring, and the other one is the worst scoring team in the GFO.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Burtucky squeaking one out.
Okay.
78-72.
All right. I, on the other hand, am going to flip a coin. Heads is going to be Burtucky. Tails is going to be Titletown. And here we go. Steven?
It's heads, ladies and gentlemen.
I will go with Burtucky. And so both of us are picking Burtucky. We'll see who wins. We'll be right back with our next matchup.